Former Congressman George Santos is set to report to federal prison less than 2 weeks from now to begin serving the 7-year sentence he was handed down in April. In 2022, Santos was elected to represent parts of Queens and Long Island in Congress, but later came out he had made up a lot about his background as well as his credentials. Then, less than a year into the role, his House colleagues voted to expel him from the chamber. He was later charged and ultimately took a plea deal, pleading guilty to federal charges of wire fraud and identity theft. Santos did decline our request to comment on his upcoming incarceration, but he did speak with the conservative political commentator Tucker Carlson in an interview that was just released yesterday. Here's part of that conversation.
I don't know that I survive it. They're putting me in a violent prison. It's a medium facility. I'm not a streetwise guy. I don't know how to fight. I'm a gay man. Statistics tell you what happens to gay men in prison. It's not like I'm saying something out of the ordinary. I'm not built for this.
And joining us now to talk more about what could be next for Santos is Sam Mangel. Sam served time himself in federal prison and now works as a prison consultant, helping clients prepare for life behind bars, including his now former client, George Santos. Sam, thank you for your time today.
My pleasure, Steph. Good morning.
Good morning to you. I want to start off with your reaction to that soundbite we just heard from Santos there.
When I worked with George, he always had a great flair for melodrama. And I can tell you categorically that the only time he will ever step foot in the medium level facility is when he first enters for initial processing. After that, he's going to walk out the front door and self-surrender to the minimum security camp next door, which is housed, certainly a few of my clients are currently there. Michael Cohen was there, and it's considered a camp. It is nonviolent offenders and other white-collar offenders.
So is there any concern? I get what you're saying, that Santos is kind of hyping this up in a more dramatic way, but is there any concern about his safety? Should he have that concern?
You can't have any prior history of violence in order to qualify for a camp. Now, that's not to say if he doesn't, if he walks up to someone and decides to hit them or, does something which could draw someone's attention, that there won't be some sort of recourse. But inherently in camps, there is no violence. I spent 21 months at the camp in Miami. I saw one little scuff up between two young kids, and it was broken up relatively quickly. I remember when I spoke to him, he felt that he was going to spend his whole time in the SHU, secured housing. They don't have those in camps. So I don't know who's giving him the information that he's getting or talking about. But again, other than the first hour when he gets there for processing, he will never be in a medium level security dangerous facility.
That interview with Tucker Carlson was lengthy, right? It was an hour, 40 minutes or so. And we should say the clip we just played was from the very end of that interview. The majority of their conversation, though, did feel pretty lighthearted to me. A lot of joking, a lot of laughing. I guess having worked with Santos yourself in the past, I understand you haven't spoken to him since this past spring, but what can you tell us about what his mindset might be right now as he prepares to serve the 7-year sentence?
He's scared. There's no question about it. He's scared. I was brought in by his legal team to help prepare him for his pre-sentence interview. And that's the interview that probation conducts after either someone pleads guilty or is adjudicated guilty at trial. And we spoke for a few hours with his counsel to prepare him. And based upon those conversations, again, he didn't understand the environment he's going into, and was playing up the sympathy card, in my opinion. When we spoke, he's very intelligent, very well spoken, but who's ever providing guidance to him, if anyone, is clearly not familiar with the system he's going into. I also believe that on the 7-year sentence that he has, and if I remember right, he qualifies for the drug and alcohol program, he probably will not serve more than 3 years in custody, with the balance in a non-custodial environment, home confinement or halfway house.
Is there a reason that he may be playing this up, looking for that sympathy?
From what I know about him, my limited interaction, I think he likes the attention. I think he's playing the oh woe is me sympathy card for whatever reason to get attention. And I truly believe he's scared. Look, anyone going into what is a black hole, it is a very scary
Yeah.
situation. I'm sure when he got that letter to surrender to Otisville, and it does say you are to surrender to Otisville FCI, which is the medium. Well, that's only because they don't have administrative offices in a camp. So you're always processed through the higher level facility. He just doesn't know.
As a former congressman, will he be given any special treatment? I guess could life be harder for him in prison because of his public persona?
No, he's going to be a number. Just like every other inmate there, he's going to be a number. Otisville has one of the most unique demographics of any of the federal camps in the country. It's known to house, quite a few religious Jewish inmates. It has, I think, the only truly kosher kitchen. So he's going to be just a number. He's not going to be any different than anyone else. He's going to have the same amount of phone time, the same amount of computer time, the same amount to spend in commissary every month. Of course, people will be interested to hear about his experiences. But other than that, there are going to be many other people there that were very successful in business. They're going to be physicians. They're going to be very successful drug dealers that got caught. So I don't see him standing out like a sore thumb in any capacity.
And as you mentioned, there is a chance that he could get out in less than 7 years.
First of all, unless he does something really foolish and gets himself in trouble, gets caught with contraband cell phones, there is no reason that he won't be out in about 3 to 3.5 years, assuming he completes the programming that we went over during his pre-sentence interview. I do know he's eligible for the First Step Act, the Second Chance Act, and the RDAP drug and alcohol program. So given what is legally available to him, if he's out in longer than 3.5 max, something's wrong.
Well, Sam Mangel, prison consultant, very interesting insight you were able to provide us. We are thankful for your time today.
Thank you, Steph. Nice talking to you.